Okay. Wow, that is some pretty bright orange luminescence, I've got to say. Let's peel the plastic off and work out what we've got here. So this is the SN0132 from one of the most popular AliExpress micro brands, San Martin. And to be quite honest with you, this doesn't really look like I expected. And the reason I say that is because online, this looked exactly like this, with these extreme orange markers and hands, which, in all honesty, I thought was some sort of Photoshop effect. Loads of watch brands do this when they just crank up the saturation to make a watch look more punchy. But no, this one in person and on video, as you can see, looks pretty extreme straight out of the box. This model is their take on a pilot's watch, although it's a little bit different from the typical pilot's watches in a couple of ways, I guess. Not only have you got the very legible colorway, but it has a turbine effect. So the dial actually looks like a jet turbine. It's this 3D vibe that we've got going on here. And this comes after we've looked at some of their textured desert effects watches in the not too distant past. This is kind of a similar thing, I guess, but I quite like it. It does make the dial look a little bit like a shell. At the time of recording this video, I'm looking on AliExpress here. This is just under £155. Now, that doesn't include any import fees. But this one is automatic. It's got a Seiko movement inside, I think, too. Yeah, NH35 in the back. And it's got 10 bar water resistance, but a case back that looks like a Rolex case back. So you'll see here it's got the kind of coin-edged rear. Now that's one of two things. That's either a screw back where you need like a specialist tool to remove, or it's actually a snapback disguised as one of these coin-edged screw backs. Let me take a closer look. No, to me this one looks perfectly flush, so I think you would need a special tool to get that open, which is a bit of a shame if I'm honest. But yeah, in there supposedly an NH35, and at least you can see here we've got a nice solid link bracelet. For once, no sticky links, which is good, but bracelets outside of that are usually pretty good from San Martin. And we've got a similar nice micro adjustment system here, which you can use pretty easily, just like that. The watch is fairly thin too, a little bit like that Tudor homage I looked at a while ago. It's got sapphire crystal, but I'm keen to look at the exact measurements. I think they said this is 40mm, and I wonder if this is actually using a case that's almost identical to one of their Submariner homages, because this here looks exactly like the Submariner. The crown guards and the way it curves, and also some of the finishing. I mean, the finishing is very good, but it's just the case back combined with this whole crown setup, very Submariner-esque. But I guess if they've repurposed it in a non-copy form, that's probably a good thing. But yeah, widthways, depends on where you measure, 41.3. Online it says this is 40mm. I guess maybe the bezel's 40mm? Yeah, fairly close. Bezel is 39.7, so maybe that's where they got that from. Lug to lug does look pretty short, 47.9, and quite an impressive 11.7 thick. Just looked at it really close off camera. This actually looks excellent under macro, really excellent. It's very neat the way that the logo, the text and the markers are placed onto that surface. Unfortunately, no chance that this fits my wrist. My wrist's pretty small, you know the size, 6 1/4 inches. And yeah, it is definitely too big for me. Not too big from the side, I mean, it's quite thin, but certainly wouldn't be able to wear this myself. I'll have to see if one of our reviewers can review this one instead and actually give it more of a test run. Aside from the extreme lume, which is going to be divisive, the main thing I don't actually like is the black border on the hands and the black tip of that secondhand counterweight. It just doesn't fit in, or it's too thick compared to everything else. It looks like someone went on Photoshop and just cranked up the stroke around the edge. Let me know what you think. Almost looks like they've got eyeliner on. Now surely those markers are going to be bright in low. Whoa! Okay, now the camera's never very good in these low light conditions, but they almost look radioactive with the UV torch on there. Not quite so impressive now, admittedly. But when that is on, that is nuts. I just wondered if there was anything else special going on, but not really. You do get that orange glow. I wonder what type of lume this is exactly. It's not often you find an orange type of lume like that. Well, it says on the webpage that the other colour of this watch, which is just much more of a standard pilot design, black and white, that one has blue BGW X1 lume. And the other one, it just says dark orange light. I'm assuming that they make a BGW X1 in this colour too, maybe? But if not, it's just a mystery. What a wacky watch. Also, let me know if you've seen this turbine effect dial before. This isn't something I've seen. Maybe some other brand has attempted this. I really need to set up a homage detectives group to figure out if these brands are coming up with new ideas or borrowing them. Anyway, thanks to San Martin official store on AliExpress for sending this in. If you want more details, head to our website, Ben's Watch Club. There's also a link to this watch in the video description. At some point, one of our writers will take a look at this, I'm sure.